A day hardly passes without spending money as a student in school. Sometimes you may even go broke due to the pressing bills coming from schools, bills of handouts, bills of materials and the rest. But how do you cope with this situation, especially if you are the one vending for your needs in school? Okay.
In Nigeria here, I don't see a situation whereby it's only the rich people that would go to school.
Okay.
Yes, everybody needs to study, everybody needs to be educated. So talking about reading, if you don't have what to eat, you don't have where to stay. So why would the book stay in your head? Even if you cram it soon now, you can't get it right.
Financial aspects or financial challenges can influence your stability, your mindset and everything.
Then if you are not financially stable, you can be depressed. You can just give up and stay back from school. Yes. I was depressed, but some people came around to advise me. In short, I almost started doing certain things that I wouldn't love to talk about.
I've seen cases where some students have went off track because of because of these financial issues. Yes, I've seen situations whereby a student can't afford, let's say, books, and the student staying in the hostel. The person can't afford normal toiletries. It could be very depressing, and such students will, if the student doesn't have discipline, could just do anything at that point.
A day hardly passes without spending money as a student in school. Sometimes you may even go broke due to the pressing bills coming from schools, bills of handouts, bills of materials and the rest. But how do you cope with this situation, especially if you are the one vending for your needs in school? Welcome once again, amazing viewer. This is Uproots the Issue, a self-growth, family life and societal development podcast where we delve deep into issues to provide knowledge as a solution for meaningful living. And so on today's episode, we will be looking at a very pressing issue affecting students out there, which is balancing your school life and side hustle. So are you a student? Are you a graduate? Do you have something doing to keep the body and souls together? Join us as we start the conversation. I'm always glad every time, any day, to be called your host, Ekemini Ekwere. I'm not doing this alone. I have two pretty ladies who are fashion designers joining me on the show today. One is a graduate here in the University of Uyo. She is a fashion designer. Her name is Abasino Nseyen, and the current vice president of the SUG here in the University of Uyo, Daragold Victor, Our Excellency. So I would love them to say hi to you people. So, ladies.
Hello, everyone. I'm really privileged to be here to share my experience or my thoughts and what I've been through in school all this while. So it's a great privilege, and I believe you also learn from my story.
All right.
Thank you.
Hi, Excellency.
Hello everyone, I'm delighted to be here and delighted to share my story and my experiences in school with you guys. So I believe that you have one or two things to take back from what we have to discuss here. Thank you.
Okay, so we love you as they start this. So there's an adage that goes thus: education is not for the poor. So I'm asking you now, is it really true in Nigeria?
Well, to some extent, it's obviously true. Because with the way the economy has been lately, it's very obvious that you can't go to school or you can't thrive in education if you don't have money. So yes, to some extent, education is not for the poor. Because even the idea of having to buy books, having to even pay your transport to school needs money. And we can all see that there is a hike in the cost of transportation. So if you don't have money, you can't even thrive with that. Even feeding is an issue. You can't even get a plate of food for 500 naira again. So yes, to some extent, education is not for the poor. So it's true.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So, but I would also love you to chip it. You've been in school. You know what this is. So, is education not really for the poor?
Well, for me, I wouldn't say that education is not for the poor. Neither
Okay.
would I support that education is not for the poor. Education is difficult for the poor.
Okay.
Yes, it's difficult based on the demands that school requires.
Okay.
Yes, you need to pay tuition fees, you need to make reports, all those things need money. And for practicals, based on the science students, depending on the subject,
Hmm.
you're offering in school, or the courses, or which department you are studying.
Okay.
So you need money to sponsor all that. But for the poor people, it will be difficult if you don't have any financial support, or you don't have a source of income that would pilot your fare in school.
Okay.
So education is difficult
Okay.
for the poor.
Okay. So,
Yes, not that it's not for the
for
poor.
the poor. Okay.
In Nigeria here, I don't see a situation whereby it's only the rich people that would go to
To
school.
school. Okay.
Yes, everybody needs to study, everybody needs to be educated. Middle class, high class, whatever class of life you find yourself, or family that you find yourself,
Okay.
you have to be educated.
Okay.
And I believe that education is the key to
To
success.
success.
Exactly.
Okay. So,
So that's
how was
fine.
life with you as a student?
Well, it wasn't easy.
Okay.
It wasn't easy. It was really a tough one because I didn't have any source of income. I didn't have support from home or family, but God did it. God did it. If I should go into details, man, there are days I would miss classes, there are days I would miss lectures because I cannot afford to pay my way down to the school. I can't afford to do certain assignments or reports that required. In short, I didn't even have where to live. To be very honest with you, I didn't have where to live, where to lay my head, and food to eat. That's how tough it was.
A person where they read the job.
So talking about reading, if you don't have what to eat, you don't have where to stay. So why would the book stay in your head? Even if you cram it once now, you can't get it right. So days like that, there's no point reading, just let it be. Go to sleep, look for where to stay. But in all this, it takes determination to keep pressing forward. You have to determine to press forward. You have to determine to succeed. I didn't just come here to see the four walls of the university. I came to study, to graduate, to have a certificate, like something to show that I was here.
Okay.
And despite everything that happened, everything I experienced, I disciplined myself. I decided to finish the race. Yes. And it was a miracle how I got into the university back in it's a 2015, because I
Okay.
believe so much in God. I had been praying, God, I want to be a student. In 2016, like I wanted to study, I wanted to further. So make a way for me. And it's very crucial that you know your prayer point, because I learned that when I got admission. I was praying back then in 2015 that God, I need a sponsor, someone that will pay my fees. If I had known, I would have prayed in detail that God should send me a sponsor that will take up my every bills.
Oh.
You understand? So I was literally praying for a sponsor to pay fees.
A fee, only
Yes,
fee.
just fee.
So you don't mean say you go do all some other things in school.
I didn't know. So when God gave me a lady that sponsored me,
Okay.
she was only paying my fees.
That's all.
That was all, just the fees. And once your fees is paid, what about other things?
Oh.
What about the practicals? What about the feeding? What about the shelter? Where would you stay? So you start squatting with people, roaming from one place
From
to
one
the
place to
other,
another.
going here, going there. And going through all that, I couldn't function well.
Oh.
Yes, academically, like in my studies. Even when you would read, I go to night class almost every day. like every night
Mm.
after classes in the day. Since you don't have way to relax now, you go back to the classroom to study or to rest.
Mm.
Then you go to the hostel to have your bath or take your bath before returning back
Back
to
to
all
rest.
night, like
All
night
night.
class again. No, no, no. So in the morning now, you keep on, moving like that, which it didn't work.
Oh,
It did not work. It will affect your studies totally.
okay. All
Yes.
right. So that will lead me to my excellency. You know, for the broke students out there, like our university life has taught me three classes of students: the ones who they are from good homes, like financial wise; the ones that they don't even have any means of survival in school; and the other ones that they have side hustle. So for those ones that they don't even have any means of survival, plus the one that have side hustle but the hustle is not paying, okay, so now will this tell on the academic performance?
Yes, it can tell on the academic performance because I feel one thing that really motivates you to read well is your state of mind.
Hmm.
If you're unstable, you might not be able
You
to
no go
grasp
work.
so much from what you're reading or from your studies. So financial aspects or financial challenges can influence your stability, your mindset and everything. So yes, um having to come from a family where perhaps you guys don't have a steady income or you guys are not financially buoyant and maybe you have a side hustle that isn't paying well
Hmm.
can also influence,
Influence your
yes, your
performance.
performance academically. So yes.
Okay, so now in school, that means that even when you have the hustle and the hustle is not paying, it will reflect too on the grades, you know.
Yes, it
Okay,
will.
okay, all right. So Mao, you talked about a whole lot of your experiences in school, and mostly the toxic ones, you know, and it's really encouraging that and inspiring. But then, as students, which you were in the four walls of the university, you saw different individuals, you saw so many things there. So, what would you say this situation, you know, how does this situation push people into doing several negative things? The situation of not having any means to survive in school. How does it push people to do very crazy negative things?
There were a lot of people in my shoes. I met a lot of people in my departments that they didn't have means to continue in school. Even when they had the means, they still gave up.
Oh,
Yes, they still gave up based on maybe their own experiences. It was not enough. So it's either it's push you to depression, it can push you into several things, depending on what exactly is the problem here. If you're not doing well academically, maybe your grades are not working
hmm.
and you are studying, you're not seeing improvement, you can be depressed. You can just give up and stay back from school.
Oh,
Yes. Then, if you are not financially stable and you don't have means, you don't have sponsor, or if your business is not working, if at all you have a business, you hardly see or meet students that have a stable business that will sponsor or, you know, support them in school.
hmm.
It's not possible. If it is possible, that means you have money now, you are doing
They
very
are doing
well.
well.
You don't have issue in school. So I met a lot of people like that. Some financial aspect. Myself, it was financial aspect
Okay,
where I didn't have the money to support and everything. So it affected me mentally. I would just read and forget everything
instantly.
instantly. I can recall days that I would enter exam hall. I'd spend a whole night. I'd spend days reading,
Reading.
but I'll go blank. And I'll be wondering, God, what did I read?
God, how?
Like,
How did we get here?
so you might stay up to 30 minutes, you can't remember anything. And you'll be wondering, what's the
Jesus
spelling
name
of is? Thinking, oh, what is is?
is in exam hall.
God. So cases like that, I almost gave up. I was depressed,
Hmm.
but some people came around to advise me. In short, I almost started doing certain things that I wouldn't love to talk about here.
Oh,
It can lead to stealing, it can lead to, what is it called? Drugs.
oh.
Yes.
Addiction, yeah, substance use.
Yes, some addiction. Because you want to take your mind off the
Of
whole
the
thing.
whole pressure and everything.
Exactly. Or you would go places, you want to isolate yourself. Like you just want to be on your own, isolate yourself from every other person, since you cannot, make progress like others. Uh-huh. So I think that's just it for me. There are lots more that it can lead to.
Okay.
But for me, those were the few things I experienced: depression, addiction, isolation, things like that.
So if you are in an environment where your friends they are in the same shoe with you, but they're actually doing something that is giving them small cash out, 2 k. I wouldn't love to mention
not
that.
enough.
Like okay.
Even at that, it's not enough.
Hmm.
It won't be enough for the school demand. It won't be enough for the school demands.
So will you say that this situation could push you into doing things like frauding, kind of hookup stuff like that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It could push someone into certain things that you wouldn't want to.
Just to have fun.
Just to have funds to do your school runs.
But it's good that we even soak you.
So my dear, it takes the grace of God. It takes discipline, it takes courage and everything to hold back and say, no, you can't do this. Okay, that God will actually make a way for you.
For you.
Yes.
Okay, Mama, do you have something to chip into that?
Yes, in addition to what she said, I've seen cases where some students have went off track because of because of these financial issues. Yes, I've seen situations whereby a student can afford, let's say, books, and the student staying in the hostel. Person can't afford normal toiletries. It could be very depressing, and such students will, if the student doesn't have discipline, could just do anything at that point. Okay, imagine a situation whereby you're told to pay money for a textbook, or maybe pay money for something in school, and it's something that is urgent. And at that point, you don't even have anything on you. Already, you're going through a whole lot, and you don't have money to pay that. And let's say maybe at that point, a friend or whosoever comes to the child and like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. If you don't have discipline, such students could just do that. Go maybe do hookup, do drugs, maybe join cultism,
Steal.
try to do this Yahoo. Yahoo is trending
Spain.
now. It's everywhere. So it takes a child with good discipline to say, no, I can't do this. The temptation is really much in the society now. The temptation is high. The temptation to do hookup is really high. The temptation to do drugs is high. The temptation to even do Yahoo, it's very high. So a child that doesn't have discipline, you want to do it, because imagine coming to class and you're seeing your mates doing certain things, and you can't afford it. It can be very depressing. Yes, so to some extent, and to some extent, it's financial challenges can lead you to doing certain things you wouldn't want to do as a student. So that's true.
When you made mention of that, I remember sometime I was in my place. I think I didn't have lecture that day. I trawled through my phone. I saw a message. A friend of mine posted it. A girl wrote there, please, as I'm speaking now, and she was in the hostel. I've not eaten for good 2 days, and I may be pushed into doing what I should not. I may go bonkers as I'm speaking. The friend of mine had to post if there's anyone with either anything, just anything. So imagine what she had to push. She went into someone's DM, a trusted friend, to ask that. So imagine if she didn't, maybe her mind didn't call her back, she would have been pushed into doing something.
At least she was able to confide in someone.
Yeah. The friend was just, even if it's food, it got about even if it is food, the one you've cooked. Most people won't even try to eat food. Now, nowadays, we know they chop anyhow. Maybe no poison also. So even if it's food, I do not care. What I just need is what to use and hold the body and soul together. Because as far as this school is concerned, we've been through a lot. It's instead of the school, instead of you eating from the school is eating you.
from you.
So there's a whole lot happening out there. But then, how are you able to balance your side? Because I believe you have something doing as a student, plus the demands from school. How are you able to balance that with your studies?
If I say it was easy, then I'll be lying. Yes, I'll start with that. If I say that combining your academics with side hustle is easy, then I'll be lying. But you have to strike a balance at some point. Now, prior to when I got admission to University of Uyo, I think after my WAEC, I didn't even stay for a week. I went to learning how to sew. I learned how to sew for 6 months before my admission came in, and I couldn't go back there again. So I had to focus on my academics in my year 1, focus on just education and all. So they ASU strike, that 8-month ASU strike.
That strike helped us.
Paved the way for me.
So many people had visions.
Yeah.
So I benefited from it to some extent.
I will beneficiary.
Yes. That period I took to learning YouTube, like using YouTube to learn how to sew.
Oh wow!
So that's how I started improving on my skills. I used YouTube a whole lot. Like you will see me glued to YouTube from morning till night, learning how to sew. Then I think 3 months to the call of the strike. I ventured into digital marketing and learned digital marketing. I'm a digital marketer, so I learned that and it helped me. So coming back to school, I was left with a choice of either leaving everything behind and focus on academics or combine it. And it's not how you can just leave it behind, because yes, I have my parents are alive.
Okay.
But you can't give you everything to some extent. Yes. There are times that you will need urgent 2K and mommy and daddy may not have it. So what do you do at that point? My side hustle will have to pay for me at that point. So I had to combine it. It was crazy, like very crazy. There are times I will sit in class, I have to sew all through the night. Night is my working hours. I sew all through the night, come to classes in the morning, sew all through the night. It even got worse in my year 3 first semester. I learned the cyber security. I'll come to class, rush out to my classes for cyber security, come back to school again, go back in the night to sew. That's how crazy it was. But I was able to strike the balance. I'm on first class. I'm on 4.7. So you can see that
that is on 2-1 now should die. That is on 2.0.
So you can see it's not easy. During exams period, it's just how I strike this balance perfectly is I'm one person that I dedicate a whole lot during my exams period. I dedicate myself to my exams when it's exams period. I don't take orders.
I'll tempt you. Honestly speaking, I will tempt you.
I make sure I let go of everything work to focus on my academics. For that 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you have exams. Just focus it. So that's why I make sure I go through the whole stress to save money for that period. So I know that I don't just have to go through the stress. So I take my time, read, so my mind can be stable. So I prefer going through the stress during lectures period. I prefer going through that stress
than stressing yourself in exams.
During exams period, because exams period you need to have a stable mind. You need it. Like it's one thing to read. Reading is already stressful. Then imagine combining it with thoughts of working. It's very crazy. So I have to just leave work for some time, focus on my academics until I'm done with my exams, then go back to it. So that's how I'm able to strike that balance. I'm still in school. I'm in my finals now. So that's how I'm able to strike that balance to where I am now.
Wow.
Yes. So
and you are still keeping on the track.
First class is the goal.
Okay, when you say to read is human, but to remember is divine. Okay, right. So coming back to you, she made mention of you can't leave what they are just working as side of a coin. You can't leave side hustle. You can also leave school at the same time because you need them to survive. So you between school and side hustle, which one should come first?
That question.
Well, as a student that has this side hustle, I think the two should come hand in hand. Yeah,
so you shouldn't leave one for another
at all, because this one is supporting the other one. So you can't leave it aside just like that. So You should know what works for you.
Oh,
You understand? Know yourself, know what works for you. Like what she said, she knew what works for her. Once it comes to exams time, she doesn't take orders. Yes, there are people that would still take orders. Maybe they might have been reading throughout the semester,
the
maybe
semester,
from the
yes.
start of school. Okay, once school resume, once they teach you,
They
you
are on
start
it.
reading. Yes, that was my own method. I start reading like that so that I'll be able to work hand in hand. Even during exam time, I can still sew for someone.
Oh,
Yes. So know yourself, know what works for you.
okay.
And again, be time conscious. Be time conscious. You don't have time to go and roam around when you have something doing.
Doing.
Yeah, no leisure. Once you have side hustle and then you're schooling too, no leisure for you. If you want to make the two things work hand in hand, which you have to make it work because they're both important for you. You understand? This one is bringing money. This one is the main reason why you came to school. Yes. So you have to be time conscious. You're done with your classes, you go back to the house or to your shop and work. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So aside from being time conscious, set your goals. Okay, this semester, this is the result or grades I want to.
I want to have.
Yes, that alone will make you. You'll be serious.
Okay.
Yes, it will make you put more effort in your studies, and then you also set goals. Okay, I have 3 clients giving me clothes this week, or they have to book, or they have to do this. You understand my points? Let them book. Let them know that you also have other things doing. So they tell you when they are picking their clothes.
Okay.
You sew it and deliver it
On time.
On time.
On time. Because that's my
Yes.
problem with you people. Time.
Stop it, Joe. So on time, you just sew and deliver it. Setting your goals will help you work hand in hand with your hustle and then education.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So to add to what she said about time, I'll use myself as an example. Now, combining schooling and my side hustle made me deprive myself of lots of things. One, I spend less hours with my phone. I understand that phone is one thing that
Can distract
that
you.
can
It's a
distract you a
distraction,
whole
yeah.
lot. So I had to deprive myself of using some things, watching movies, maybe going out with friends. Because I
hanging
know
out.
that I have, like she said, goals. I know that I have a goal. I know that I have something at stake.
Yeah.
Now, when you know you have something at stake, you want to work so hard. You will sacrifice everything for it.
Yeah.
So, like she said, set priorities. Let's just know that you have a priority. It's just for the period of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years at most.
And you have time to
And you
enjoy.
have time to enjoy. Yes. So make sure you deliver at this point. Deprive yourself of some things and then see that you can make excellent results from what you are doing at the moment. So that's just what I can add to what she said.
Okay, so now for our viewers listening to you, let's get to know what you do about your own fashion line of business.
Okay. For my own fashion line of business, I sew from home.
Okay.
Yes, I sew from home for now because I live with my parents and I need to be around there.
There, yeah.
So I can only move out when I'm done with school.
Okay.
So I sew from home. Although I have plans of moving out from next year after my schooling. So that's what I'm doing currently with my fashion. I sew natives, ankaras, ready to wear, other things. So that's it for my fashion line.
Okay.
I'm also a digital marketer and a cybersecurity analyst.
Wow. Okay, so what's the name of your brand?
Goldot Apparel.
Okay. Okay, so please tell us about your brand. Let our viewers, because there's someone out there that will patronize you. I'm so sure about that.
All right. My name is Abasiono Gebron saying I am the CEO of Spotlight Fashion Theatre. You can look it up on all social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So we sew ready to wear, different types, 2 pieces, gowns, whatsoever you have, but ready to wear. That's it for me.
Okay, so as a student, you are in school, you are also vending for yourself, struggling on your own. Please know that you need this side also. You need to do something so that you will build the body and soul together and you fit in into the school environment. But then, please remember to set your priorities. Please prioritize your own time and know what you need, know how you need to move into it. If this is meeting you for the first time, please jump on the subscription icon, click on the button to subscribe so that we'll keep you posted on further interesting conversations coming your way. This is a session, very interactive session, life-changing session with the Vice President of the Students Union University of Uyo, Darago Victor, and the CEO of Spotlight Theatre, Baseno Nsane. With me, it's Ekemini Ekwere, of course, on how you can balance school and side hustle. This is the hustling I'm doing, man. So, lastly, before we just wrap up the whole conversation, what is your advice to students out there? Not only students, graduates. Man, there are a whole lot of them who are not doing, like, they are just trying to fit in, They are not self-employed, So, what do you advise them?
Okay, my advice to students and graduates is this. I've heard a lot of excuses that I don't have money to learn a skill. It's very expensive to learn one thing or another. But you have YouTube, you have your phone.
That's a lifesaver.
If we can channel the amount of data we spend on TikTok,
yes,
on Instagram, on social media generally,
Yeah.
to learning a skill on YouTube, I think we will go far. For someone like me, after doing that ASU strike period, I used YouTube. Most of the things I've learned in fashion design is from YouTube. I'm not sure. Okay, imagine spending 6 months in a fashion, in a tailoring house. You won't expect me to learn much. It will just be the basics. Maybe just cutting a skirt, cutting a shirt. It won't be many things. But how then did I improve myself? How did I improve on my skills? It was through YouTube. So you can use YouTube. YouTube has made things easier. There are lots of channels. I've seen channels for beginners. There's hostels I'll see that I don't even know how to do at all. I'll just have to watch different channels. They look at the ones that are for beginners. Learn it. You can start from there. Even how to make make hair. I make hair too. I learned it from.
How for you?
You have to hustle. So I know how to make hair too. How did I learn it? I learned it from my friend in secondary school. So you can learn from your friends. Those ones you may not have to pay them. I make I see what they do now. People will show you. You learn from there. You come back, you practice it. Those small things may not be perfect, but from that small skill, you can get 300 naira, 500 naira, 1,000. It can feed you. It can provide for your breakfast.
You can end that thing that you asked for, please. So urgent.
Okay, imagine weaving someone's hair, maybe 5 persons in a day, 500 naira for natural hair weaving. How much will you make in a day?
Cash out.
You've cashed out. You can take care of yourself for that day. So there's something to do. At least if you can do that, you could save up for maybe to learn from an experienced person, and to get better with your skill or for an upgrade. So they say it just takes a step. They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
Yes.
Little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. So if you don't start little, how then do you expect to get an ocean? If you don't drop a water, how then do you expect to have an ocean from that place? So you start little until you can get there. So my encouragement to everyone listening to me now is start little. From that little corner, I used to say something, from the little corner where you are, try to shine try to shine your light. From where you are, try to do something. I know that if you want to get to Abuja, if you don't begin by walking, you won't get there. So you have to stand up and walk. So that's my advice to everyone. Please try to start from somewhere, and by God's grace, you will learn well.
Okay, yes. So before moving to Mr. Nsayen to get our final feedback, do you have something that you have as a plan for students in your institution that you are governing, as something that will help them, which you would love to share? Okay,
yes. I'm planning on the skill acquisition and empowerment scheme for students, where they can learn at least 5 skills in fashion designing, hair making, makeup, photography, and tech.
Wow.
Yes, so I have that in mind for the students, and it will come with empowerment, because it's one thing to train, it's another thing to empower. So they have to come hand in hand. So that's one of my plans for the students.
Okay, so what are the modalities set in place? How will be the registration application? Something?
When the time is set, we will all get to you.
All right, thank you very much. So lastly, what's your advice to many ones out there who are or who were in your shoe as a student?
Okay. Well, I would advise everyone out there, if you want to get admission or if you want to be a student, you are a student already, just get a skill. Yeah, I believe there is always an opportunity for you to learn a skill. Is either for free, because all the skills I learned it for free. People just favored me. So
Wow.
there is always an opportunity for you to learn. Yes, for free. Just like what she said, she's organizing something to,
To students, yeah.
yes, for the students. If you're in the school, why not leverage on this opportunity and learn a skill?
Yeah, I'm having mine now.
So it will help you get a skill. If you're already in the school, still opportunity would come and then you learn a skill. It will help you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, please, a student, you're a graduate, wherever you find yourself, there is something you can do. Please never limit yourself to be deprived of opportunities. Jump at opportunities the same way you do at conclusions. This was a very life-changing session, very inspiring. I hope you obtained value with Daragold Victor and Abaseno Nseyen. Please always stay clinched to our channel, for this is the only channel that you obtain value for being an inspiration in this generation. Till next episode, may always remain Ekemini Ekwere, your host. At Uproots the Issue, you are our inspiration. Bye for now.